thought that I was live. Oh, here we go. Boys, I am an idiot. I thought I was streaming this entire time. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to the Yammie Noob live stream. Oh my goodness, that was extremely silly of me. Oh my god. That was really funny. I was wondering why we didn't have that many viewers, and then I didn't even realize that I wasn't live. Can you tell this is my first time doing this? What's up, everybody? How's it going? We're actually live now. I had the little preview going on here, and I was like, oh, what is going on? But now I actually have... Oh, here we go. Here's 100 people. I was wondering why there was like 20 people on stream. I was literally live streaming to myself. That was so funny. Can I get a Zoomer intern to help me work this technology? That'd be great. What's going on, everybody? How we doing? There we go. Chat's act. I was wondering. I was like, damn, nobody's like asking me anything. No one's hanging out. All right, here we go. So I was mentioning earlier to myself, but now to you, that a lot of the questions are coming from the Discord server. So we started this new live stream. We put a lot of effort into it. I'm really excited about it. It's being powered primarily through the Discord server. You guys hear me talk a lot about this, but the reason I do is because this is a really vibrant community for motorcycling. Think of it like a bike night that never ends. I am literally on here every single day. The Discord boys can attest that I am in here chatting it up and hanging out. Like, I answered this guy's question about the Panigale V2 that he was looking at, and I told him that we had one as a giveaway bike a couple years ago. I'm literally on here every day, so not to hype it up too much, but if you want to hang out with me, this is definitely the best way to do it. So, we have a great show planned for you today. I thought that we'd get people chiming in, kind of coming in a little bit, spend some time with you guys, and then we will start the show. So, happy to answer some questions. Let's see what you guys are saying here. Martin says, nice glasses. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. I've been wearing these for like 5 years now. The prescription keeps updating because my vision keeps getting worse, which is great. Andy says, we are now live. Guys, I cannot believe I felt so stupid. It's literally live streaming to myself. That's so funny. That's hilarious. Lone Wonder, ooh, cool new live stream. How's your time away from YouTube? It was really good, actually. I was actually going to bring that up in our pre-stream. I'll talk a little bit about that because, as some of you know, I'm a newly minted dad. I wanted to talk about that a little bit, tell you guys a little behind the scenes, and get the show starting. So I'll get another 2 or 3 minutes, get some people rolling in, and then we're going to get it pumped. Shane says, thought you were pranking us for a minute. That's really funny. That would be funny to just have a live stream and never, ever show up. Just continue. I do that sometimes in the audience. I kind of poke you guys a little bit. I remember one time on Instagram, I asked people what their favorite fruit was. Okay, here's a fun behind the scenes. If you guys ever see a really bizarre poll on Instagram from me, the only reason I'm doing that is because my wife wants to know something, and she's like, could you ask your big audience on Instagram? Like, we'll be like, oh, do people like this cereal or that cereal? Or like, what's people's favorite fruit? Or like this X, Y, and Z question. And it's like an immediately accessible sample size of people. I try to tell her, I'm like, look, it's 97% dudes that love motorcycles. So a little biased, right? Like, we're not getting a completely random sample size, but that's the fun part of it. People tell me congrats on the baby. Thank you so much. I'm a girl dad, baby girl. So pumped, so happy about that. It's a lot of work, but it's a ton of fun too. Really enjoying it. I think I'm still on the Discord screen here, so let's go ahead and hit the main thing right there. I think we're back on main now. Let's check on OBS. Yes, we are. Very good. Boys, thank you so much for having patience with me. I'm learning OBS and streaming and all that good stuff. I hope that in like a month or two, I'm just like a total pro and like so good at this and so awesome at all the scene changes and all that. But let's get the show started, shall we? Let's open up the slideshow. Let's do the whole thing that we had going here and start the whole rigmarole. I'll go ahead and do the... Oh, that's the Discord. We'll go picture in picture here. I think that's correct. Let's see. Moto Noob says girl dad ×2. Very nice. Very, very nice. Yeah, that's Discord. I'm pretty sure I'm on the Yammie Noob stream. Yes, I am. All right, look at that. We got a beautiful slideshow for you guys. We're going to have some fun here. So let's get started, shall we? What is going on? Here we go. What's new with Yam? The first point that I mentioned to you guys. I'm literally Papa Yam now. My wife and I gave birth to a beautiful baby girl. She's healthy. She's happy. We're enjoying life. And yeah, don't be surprised if some dad content starts coming up. Maybe I'll review some dad bikes. I might even get a dad bike if we're being totally real. I might actually, there's some rumblings right now in the behind the scenes. The Desert Sled might finally make its way out of the garage and welcome a new motorcycle to the front here. So if you guys are interested in knowing what that is, drop me some questions down below. Try to guess a little bit of what that bike might be. Moving on. I don't know what is going on with this slideshow, but here we go. What's new with the Yam? Also, we have a new Triumph Daytona 660 and a Triumph Speed 400 in the garage for review. Very, very pumped on that. Both of these bikes were provided by Eurocycle, and oh my God, I have so much to say about the Daytona 660. That review is going to go live in a couple of weeks. Super pumped, working really hard on that one. We're taking a bit of like a logical and an emotional kind of, feeling for them. I'm really, really excited about that video. And then we're going to have the Speed 400 review go live. Very excited about that motorcycle. I think that bike is punching way above its price point. The fit and finish is really nice. Fun, punchy little motorcycle. And yeah, just a ton of fun. So be on the lookout for those reviews coming up in August. And the next point, I don't know why I can't see the slideshow. Okay. Okay, we're gonna try this again. The other point is that the next giveaway bike is already here. Discord users know what it is, but I can't spoil it. It's a brand new platform, and I'm really, really excited to do it. So you guys keep a lookout on that as well. So we have rider questions answered as well. That is the first thing we're going to be talking about today. We gathered these up from Instagram and from Discord. So let's get started with the first question. Luca on Instagram asks, I was wondering my opinion on quick shifters and beginner riders, yay or nay? He's been told that quick shifters build bad habits for beginners. So a quick shifter on a first motorcycle, in my opinion, is no big deal because you can still use the clutch normally when you actually go to change gears, right? Like, it's just an additional feature that if you want to keep it wide open and then go ahead and blip it, that's going to allow you to slip the gear up and it's going to be just fine. However, where I think beginner riders need to focus when you think about quick shifters and all that stuff is slow speed clutch control. Whether you have a quick shifter or not is still going to be a skill you have to practice. Unless your motorcycle comes equipped with a recluse clutch or a smart clutch system like an MV Agusta. Shouldn't buy an MV Agusta as a first motorcycle. You're still going to have to learn that slow speed stuff. So a quick shifter is not going to be a huge deal breaker for bad habits for beginners because you can still practice using the clutch with a quick shifter. So no problem for you there, Luca. All right, next question came from Super Buttery on Instagram. They were asking, any fitness tips or good fitness habits to develop for motorcycling? Now, I'll be honest, motorcycling can be a very sporting and fun activity that you can do, but it can also kind of be, you don't have to be super in shape to do it. I've met lots of guys who are not that great in shape, and actually some really fast guys at the track who aren't in that great of shape who, can really rip it. But I would say if you're interested in combining your fitness and your motorcycling, I personally do a lot of cycling. I love riding bicycles, good for cardio, gets you lighter weight. I tell you guys this all the time, salads are cheaper than carbon fiber. So if you buy some salads, drop some weight, you will go faster on your motorcycle. And I think getting those thigh muscles to get built up will build that endurance to go side to side on a sport bike. But to commute around town, to do weekend rides, you don't really need that much fitness, to be honest. So something to keep in mind there. Felix on chat says, fitness tip, masturbation. That could work. I don't know. I haven't tried it yet. Never masturbated in my life. Gems, Isaac, just kidding. Of course I have, guys. Come on. I think it's common knowledge that a V4 is greater than an inline 4. But why haven't the Japanese put one in their leader bikes? Now, that's a very interesting question, isn't it? Why have no Japanese manufacturers done a top shelf leader bike with a V4 platform? And there's a couple reasons why. Historically, Japanese motorcycles have primarily been based on the inline 4 platform. You think about R6, R1, Honda CBR, all that stuff. You know, they've primarily been inline 4s. There, of course, have been very famous V4 race-derived motorcycles from Honda, right? The VFR was a 4-cylinder V4 motorcycle. Some of the old-school RC30s as well, those are V4s. But in the modern era, I think the Japanese compete very much on value, and they know that building a V4 is expensive. This is why it's been primarily relegated to Ducati and Aprilia for carrying that V4 flag, because they can charge the premium price tag for it. It's also because, you know, Honda specifically has, you know, had a V4 platform in MotoGP for racing, but kept the inline 4 machines for cost purposes on the street. V4 motorcycles, of course, are going to be a little bit better on track. We've seen their prowess in MotoGP, but that's not to say historically that inline 4s haven't competed very, very well. The Yamaha, an inline 4 in MotoGP, did very well. Several championships in World Superbike. Right now, Toprak Razgatlioglu killing it on the BMW S1000RR. This is an inline 4. So specifically the Japanese, I think it's just a matter of tradition, of heritage, and that's just my own opinion on it right now. Danny here says that he was waiting for Honda to do a Fireblade V4. And yeah, I think there's this sort of idea that Yamaha might do a V4, you know, either in the R1 or in the MotoGP program. But truthfully, if you've invested so much time into your inline 4 program, unless you really, 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 really need to, I would probably just keep that inline 4. Next question. Nick Shout. Would you upgrade stock suspension or get a new bike if power is not a concern? MT07. So this is tricky because I would need to know what you're kind of planning on doing with that machine, right? So I think that if you're the average everyday street rider, getting upgraded suspension instead of a new motorcycle doesn't make a whole lot of sense. And let me explain why. Something like an MT07 has a steel tubular frame. It's designed to be cheap, simple, easy to manufacture, and comfortable enough for people to ride around town. Something like an R6 has a stiff twin spar aluminum frame. It's super rigid laterally and is designed to go on a racetrack. Just those frames alone will dictate so much more about how the motorcycle handles. The geometry of the bike dictates a lot. The suspension, all it's going to really do is control bumps, right? So if you are riding your motorcycle and you notice that you're bottoming out the suspension, or like it feels really stiff or harsh, or it's kind of pogoing, that could be a case where upgrading your suspension makes a lot of sense because you need it to be sized appropriately for you, right? If you're a bigger rider, 240 plus pounds, something like that, the vast majority of stock motorcycle shocks are just not going to work. And you'll notice your bike handles a bit strange. It doesn't matter how much preload you put at the rear, it's just going to feel bad, right? So that's a case where swapping suspension makes a lot of sense. But if you're trying to gain performance, it's way cheaper and easier to just get a whole new motorcycle that has a better engine, better frame, better suspension just from the factory. So that's what I would do if I were you. Let's see. Vegas says, I've learned a lot of great info from your videos. Thank you. Keep up the great work. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. We really try our best here at Yammie Noob to provide good videos. So thank you very much. EVS0941 on Discord. Can you recommend a handful of reputable advanced rider courses around the country? So this is pretty cool. I've had the chance to do several of these. I've been invited to some, and I've actually paid for some myself too. By and far, I really do think the Yamaha Champ School does a really good job. They have online courses you can do to help yourself. They have in-person schools that you can go and do track training or street training. And I really like the guys over there. I'm not paid or sponsored by them in any way, but I really just appreciate what they've done. I've done 3 different courses with them. I did an advanced racer training program and 2 different Yamaha Champ Day schools, and I had a ton of fun. The California Superbike School also does a really good job. That's famously owned by Keith Code and his son Dylan Code. Keith Code famously made the twist of the wrist. If you guys have seen those kind of cheeseball old school riding videos, really, really big fan of those. They make some really good stuff too. But honestly, a lot of places have MSF advanced rider courses. Those are a lot cheaper and usually more accessible, and you can learn a little bit while you're there too in your local area. So it looks like you guys are talking about some Harley stuff. Man, that's actually coming out on our newsletter tomorrow. This whole Harley go woke, go broke shenanigans. We have a lot to say about that here at Yammie Noob, but I will let that slide on the newsletter because I don't want to clog up the stream too much. Next question, Maximus Third on IG. How do I lean into the spicy bends safely? So this is something that I hear a lot from new riders. They're like, hey, yeah, I have a really tight corner coming up. How do I lean in? I want to like lean my bike over really good and have some fun. Honestly, for me on the street, I try to lean as little as possible. And let me explain why. The reason I try to not lean as much on the street is because you give yourself more ability to lean further or lean out if you're having to have that bandwidth, right? So honestly, I try to get my body off and my lower body off as much as possible and get the bike more upright through turns and take them at a little bit slower speeds, right? On a motorcycle, the faster you go around a bend, the more you have to lean typically, right? Because the bikes just work that way. And the faster you go, the more dangerous it is if you're riding in street conditions. So if you want to learn how to lean into bends safely in a spicy manner, the track is going to be the best way to do that, because that way you can repeatedly do the same corner over and over again and figure out how to really take it at the proper speed, trail it in, and lean over and feel really good on your motorcycle. But, you know, if you just want a cool photo for Instagram, you can do the whole ridiculous body position thing and get yourself way off there. I totally get it. Some people want to drag the knee on the canyon roads. It does look cool for Instagram. All right, Leech Edits on Instagram says, if you could buy any bike and build it however you would want, what bike would you do? This is a difficult question. I really think today, if you asked me that right now, any bike, if someone's just cutting me a check, I don't have to buy it, because you guys know I'm a cheap bastard and I always go back and forth on the bikes I want to buy. I honestly would do a Husqvarna 701 Enduro. I would do that bike. I would outfit it with all the best Farkles and parts and all that stuff. I'd make a little bit of like a do anything, go anywhere bike, and I would just rip. The thing would just do wheelies. I'd do jumps with it. I'd go on adventure rides with it. I'd run it around town. I think that'd be so much fun. So if anybody wants to send me 25 grand so I can build up a Husqvarna 701 Enduro and make some videos for the channel, I certainly will do that, because I'm too much of a cheap bastard to let go of my desert sled and do that myself. So yeah, maybe I'll do a giveaway with one. I don't know. All right, Asom on Discord. How do I convince my dad to let me ride a motorcycle? Now, this is an interesting question. If you're trying to convince your dad to let you ride a motorcycle, I think the best thing to do is probably to put yourself in a position where you don't have to convince anybody to let you. And what I mean by that, I mean that you should probably be grown enough and paying for your own way and doing the life that you want to do, right? Living the life you want to live. It's almost impossible to convince a parental figure if they really don't want you to. And as a newly minted father, I kind of get it, you know, from like not wanting your kids to ride motorcycles. Like, they are very dangerous. And my dad himself was like, hey, if you live in my house, you're not going to ride bikes. I had to wait until I moved out to then buy my own motorcycles and have fun with them. You can try to make the case that you're going to wear all the gear and be safe and et cetera, but if you have a stubborn parent, you're just going to cause strife in your family. And I really think that it's probably best. I'm not a family counselor or a therapist or anything, but I think it's probably best to minimize your strife and kind of tension in your family. And just, you know, if you want a motorcycle, wait until you're able to be by yourself and do your own thing and get your own bike. You could also, if you wanted to be, you know, a bit of a sleazeball, you could buy the bike and put it in a storage unit and then nobody ever has to know, and have somebody drive you over to the storage unit, or you can walk over their bicycle over there and pick up your motorcycle. I'm not advocating that, but I'm saying you got options. You got options. Chat, let me know if you think that's crazy or not. All right. At 20Matt on Instagram. Well, this is funny. I just mentioned this. Is renting a storage unit the best option if living in an apartment and don't want to keep a bike outside? This is a little tricky because I don't know the exact parameters. I would say if you're able to, I've seen a lot of guys do this. I'm assuming that, I don't know, I'm just going to assume you live alone, because I feel like a woman would never allow you to do this if you lived with her. Maybe she's super cool and lets you. But if you live on the ground floor, you could maybe take your bike and roll it into your your house, that's the cheapest and easiest way to do it. If you live on second or third floor, obviously, if there's an elevator, that's crazy. You don't want to do that with your bike. If the storage unit is close enough to where you can walk to it or ride a bicycle or drive to it and you don't mind, that could be a good option. But I think that you're probably better off keeping the bike outside and chaining it somewhere. Storage units can get a little pricey. It doesn't really, it's kind of annoying to have to do that. But yeah, I mean, it's tough because I remember back when Spite worked at the channel, he had lots of issues with people stealing his motorcycles. And I believe he lived in an apartment at that time and even had a gate. So I get it. Like, I would really be super careful if I had to park my bike outside. And if for peace of mind, storage unit, not a terrible idea. But I will say some storage units don't let you hold stuff like that in them. They don't want stuff that can leak oil or gas or fluids. And they certainly might not let you do that if you're going to work on the bike either, too. So just something to keep in mind. All right. Just Zach today asks, how have motorcycles impacted the way you navigate your personal life? Big question. Motorcycling to me has kind of given me a really different perspective on risk in general. I've obviously been in some pretty nasty accidents. I've crashed motorcycles on the street twice. One was very nasty. One was not so nasty. I've crashed on track and off-road more times than I care to count. I've genuinely lost track, but it doesn't matter. I've never gotten seriously hurt off-road or on track. But honestly, motorcycles have made me like so safety aware and so safety conscious with everything I do. I think that happens whenever you are operating a machine that can kill you like that. You start to look at stuff and you're like, hey, if I do that, I'm probably going to get hurt. Like your calculus for doing risk kind of changes. But the curve was kind of funny for me because it went to where like I took a bunch of risk when I was younger and like didn't think about the consequences. And then I got wrecked, right? And then I started really considering risk and really thinking about consequences. And I feel like I've avoided so many bad situations because I ride motorcycles. The other thing too is motorcycling has also made me realize just how like gross and car dependent our whole world is. Riding motorcycles makes you realize you're like, wow, like personal transportation doesn't have to be a 3,500 pound box that like is dangerous for pedestrians and damages our roadways and clogs up our infrastructure. Like, if more people rode two-wheeled vehicles, there'd be so much less traffic. And I genuinely think people would be happier. I find that when I do an errand on a motorcycle versus a car, I'm usually way happier in the day that I rode my motorcycle. Like any day I ride my motorcycle is a good day. Like, pretty much. So I'd say that's the ways it's navigated my personal life as well. Especially now that I have a family. The biggest thing I tell myself before I leave is like, my only goal is to make it back. I just want to make it back to my house today. So yeah, I think it changes your risk and your calculations. Shane Young asks a question here on chat. I'll answer this one really quick. Best advice for someone getting back in the saddle after a serious wreck. Just wrecked my Fireblade and I'm feeling a lot of post-trauma nervousness. Man, that's a tough one. I think that like you have to get to a point where mentally you are strong enough to jump back on. And honestly, like I know some riders, they'll be like, yeah, dude, ride or die, do whatever. Like if you genuinely don't feel comfortable getting back on, there is no shame in saying like, hey, I did this. I don't think I'm capable of doing it anymore. Maybe I'm going to step away from this. There's plenty of other ways to enjoy motorcycling. I would say if you're having PTSD from riding on road and you really don't want to mess with like road traffic again, riding on track's great, riding off road's great. There's lots of ways to enjoy motorcycling such that it isn't quite as dangerous as it can be. So that's something I would recommend. Maybe take baby steps, right? Maybe head out on, a smaller bike, get your feet wet again. That was something I did when I got back from my big wreck. I didn't ride for 18 months. And then when I got back on, it was on the giveaway FZ07 that I had in 2019, early 2019. That's when I got back on bikes again. And I just went slow, man. I didn't care. The bike only had 75 horsepower. I just had fun with it, slowly got my skills back up and got my confidence back up. And for me, there is no life that I want to live that doesn't have motorcycling in it. So that was really important to me. So quick answer right there on the question. All right, Jay-Z Ace on Instagram. Any tips on how to stay calm after emergency situations happen? So for me, the biggest thing I would say is just pull over, get off the bike. You know, I've had plenty of situations. Oh, I think the camera. There we go. I've had plenty of situations where I've been on the bike, had a crazy near miss, and I mean, I'll be honest, I have PTSD from my wreck, and I really don't like it when I have a close call, like a really, really close call. And I remember in 2022, I had 2 different, like, extremely close calls. And the first thing I did was I just, like, parked the bike, got off of it, and was just like, I don't want to think about motorcycling for, like, 2 days. I don't want to, like, jump on a bike. I don't want to think about a bike. I don't want to do anything. So I would say the soonest you can get off the bike and just, like, take a breath, that's a good place to be. Because you're not going to ride very well if you're, you know, like highly aware, or you're like super in your feelings and you're like super adrenaline rush. Like, it's not going to be a good thing. So definitely kind of take a deep breath, take a break, and get off the bike, and then jump back on and have some fun with it. Nayurisai on IG asks, what made you love bikes or start riding? Again, the cheap bastard theme is going to come back. I just really loved anything with an engine since as long as I can remember. I remember I was a kid and I liked cars, I liked bikes, I liked anything with wheels. I always liked Legos and putting things together. My dad always thought I was going to be an engineer. Very lofty hopes. I ended up a YouTuber. Oh my God, that's so much worse than being an engineer. Yeah, I feel like if I was on a plane and then they were like, "Oh, does anybody a doctor in here?" If my dad was still around, he'd be like, "Oh, go tell him to like and subscribe, dude. You're really adding a lot of value to the world." Anyways, so I liked engines, I liked cars, I liked all that stuff. By the time I was about 20, I realized, I was like, "Oh my God, like motorcycles are really cheap. You can get a lot of go fast for not a lot of money, and they're really cool." I just thought they were super cool. So by the time I was 21, I was like, I'm going to start saving up some money, going to get a bike. And then I think when I was 22, I got my first motorcycle. It was 2015, I was 22, got my first bike. So, and it's just been, ever since then, I was like, motorcycles are the best thing ever. And I still, every time I ride, dude, I get, it's like, it's such a special feeling when you get on a bike. You're just like, there's nothing quite like it. And yeah, I think I'll ride them for as long as I can, honestly. All right, guys, that was the question and answer portion of our video. Really appreciate all the questions being submitted. Let's see here. I'm going to check on the chat on YouTube. Nadish, thank you for the donation here. It says, please test drive and review Triumph Speedmaster. I believe that's the cruiser with the parallel twin, right? I will do my best to try to find one, my friend. Those are a little harder to come by. NBHD says, have you ever tried any 450 Supermoto? I Supermotoed my Husky 501, which is as close to a 450 as I've gotten to. I've ridden a 450 once on a motocross track, and I was like, I never want to get on one of these things ever again. It's terrifying. So, yeah. Guys, thank you so much. Got 300 people on stream here. This is a lot of fun. We're now going to move on to the next portion of the stream, and that is the bike roast or boost. Let's get a little clap to Logan, our script writer and editor, and well, not editor, but just general channel manager and helper here, who have put together these beautiful crusty graphics. You love to see it. In the bike roast or boost section, I take motorcycles that people have submitted to me on Discord and through the email and all that stuff, and I review them. So I get to rate or roast your ride. Let's get started. I've been looking forward to this one. All right. Proletariat Prince on Discord said, this is my 2005 Sportster 883. I got it in 2020 from an old man in rural Michigan, and I will own it forever. I mean, it's a Sportster. Why not, right? It has a Vance & Hines exhaust, a K&N air filter, and I guess some HD bolt-on engine parts per the PO, but it probably still makes like 60 horsepower. Man, honestly, that's a good-looking bike, honestly. Like, I know people are probably going to think I'm crazy, but I think the Sportsters are genuinely, like, an interesting motorcycle. I think that the air-cooled flavor, the raw qualities they have, like, it's one of the few Harleys I've ridden that I'm like, this is a good motorcycle, because it's kind of, like, authentic and interesting and just, like, rumbly. Like, you ride the new M8 Cruisers, the Harley stuff, they just feel a little boring, a little, like, you know, soulless. But the Sportster's got a lot of attitude, and the 1275 Sportster that Spite built back in 2020 that I got the chance to ride here on the channel, that thing was nasty. That thing was nasty, so interesting, and I love the fact that Sportsters are like, they're Legos. You know, you can put them together, do whatever you want, and Proletariat Prince's Sportster is in good nick here. I like the big jugs right here, looking nice, the quilted seat, a classic vibe here on this Sportster, and I don't see why you wouldn't own it forever. Yeah. Sweet ride. Oh, there he is, looking like a 1970s dream with this girl on the back. Now, this is what all Harley guys aspire to. Look at the drip on this man. Look at those locks. I can only dream of such locks. My goodness. Save some for the rest of us. Slide Time on Discord dropped this one, an Aprilia RS457. Now we're talking. The 457, I might just tell you guys here on stream, because there's not that many people on here, okay? But we may or may not have picked up one of these bikes, so we may or may not be doing a little bit of a giveaway with one. Just keep your eyes peeled, okay? I'm very excited about this motorcycle, and I love this color. This is the Prismatic Dark, and one user on Discord called it Oil Spill Dark. And honestly, when you walk around it, I'm not gonna lie, it is a little bit like an oil spill. But the RS457 is a sweet freaking bike, dude. Look at the frame. Aluminum twin spar frame on that bad boy. You can't go wrong. Handling beautifully, you know? Really, really nice bike. It looks like a super bike. It sounds like a big bike. And pretty sweet, in my opinion. Pretty sweet. Yeah, it's a good looking motorcycle. I mean, it's hard to not rate it highly, but, you know, it's a brand new bike. Let's see some mods on it, you know? There he is riding away with it. Looking good. Looking good. Geared up. You love to see it. All right. Pocket the Prophet on Discord. The absolute flex offender that he is. Yamaha XSR 900. Now, I have a question for the XSR 900 people out there. Why are you all like this? I feel like XSR 900 people are just the serial flex offenders and just serial, you know, like, I got to post my bike up on Instagram. I got the triple cylinder sound, all this stuff. I just feel like, I mean, look at this guy. I mean, I respect the drip. I mean, look at him. He just looks so good on the bike. He's matching. He's got the black and the red and the little red stripe on it. How long did this photo shoot take to set up? We got freaking fireworks, the most beautiful XSR 900 image I've ever seen. I hope you got at least 1,000 likes on this on Instagram. I know you posted it. I know you posted it. Distinguished gentleman riding it over here. You love to see it. Kickstand turning the machine. Honestly, the XSR is, I get it, because like the MT-09 is like ridiculously good, and this is just like a good looking MT-09. So yeah, got some roller shots, looking nice, and the classic wheelie shot, baby. I can't tell what city we're in the background here. I'm gonna guess this is America. Kind of has an American vibe to me, you know. But love an XSR 900. Really, really nice. All right, Gearhead Brady on Discord. We got a 2015 Yamaha R3. Now, I'm really partial to the Yamaha R3. Many of you might know that was my very first motorcycle. Mine was a 2015, and mine was red and white, just like this one. And bringing back memories. Bringing back so many memories of a little red R3. Oh, man. Those are some of my best days riding was when I was late at night, 3 a.m., just riding my motorcycle. Such good memories. It looked just like this, too. I think I had a little slip-on pipe on mine. I think it looked something like this. Might have been the Acura slip-on that I got. I can't quite remember. The factory, dude, the turn signals on this bike. Oh, my God. This was like mid-2000s Yamaha where everybody was starting to do LEDs, but Yamaha, for some reason, held out on these ridiculous bulbous lights right here. Oh, just horrible. But the rest of the bike, an absolute dream. This was right around the time that this motorcycle came out to compete against the Ninja 300. It had a slightly bigger engine. It had the R-bike styling. I was just so enamored with this bike when I was starting out. Thought it was the greatest thing ever. Love to see this guy doing some track days with it. Very, very nice work. So now we have German A2 Boy, a legendary Discord user, a longtime Discord user. He says he's got an 86 DR600. I'm not sure if I'm proud or ashamed of it, but it's the perma-broken pain of my existence. It has more than 15 previous owners, around 100,000 kilometers on the clock. It breaks your foot if it senses weakness in you. It's got the broken suspension. Its brakes feels like they were made out of cheese. It's got a forged piston with higher compression and a high-power camshaft, full aero Dakar system, and it makes brap noises in a way that I can't describe. It rides like a pig, it brakes all the time, and it weighs 18 metric tons. It feasts upon my hopes and dreams and my money, and it is like a black hole that everything good falls into. I love and hate the DR just as I love and hate myself. I will never be rid of my need for it. Now, to add some extra context to this, German A2 Boy mentioned that this motorcycle also recently seized on Discord. So here it is, the DR. And yeah, that's your classic old school dual sport. One thing that I always found funny about these bikes is like the dual pipe right here, but it's certainly a single cylinder. I cannot remember why bikes did that back in the day, but chat, if you know why this motorcycle had dual pipes coming off of the header, even though it's a single cylinder motorcycle, please let me know. That is beyond my scope of understanding. It's a good looking bike, you know? You can tell it's a ridiculous, like, big-ass enduro. Like, you're not really going to do enduro things with it. It's more of a big trail bike. But, you know, if I didn't know it wasn't breaking down all the time with 15 previous owners, like, you know, classic TR, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. Tiny Caitlin says, Yano, what's up? And here it is, broken, disheveled. And you know it's bad when you got the impact drill at the bottom. That's how you know it's bad news. That's how you know you're getting into some shit on it. Look at all these parts on the bench. I am so sorry, German A2 Boy. This is rough to see. Nico says, 1 pipe per exhaust valve. That would be kind of crazy. It's 1 single pipe for each valve. I'm not sure if that's how it is, but maybe. I'm not sure. All right. Vekabaz on Discord has the Benelli TNT 135 for the Yamcast, a Grom with a slightly bigger engine with 5 speeds before 5 speeds were a thing on Groms, plus cheaper. Yeah. Honestly, the Benelli is a pretty sweet ride. I think it's just like a China special because I think Benelli has that partnership with QJ. But I remember we had one of these for like, this was a funny story. Benelli gave us a TNT 135 back in 2022. And I think they genuinely just forgot that we had this bike because I had a Benelli TNT 135 for like 9 months, and it was supposed to be like a 1 month loaner. And so I actually have good amount of seat time on the Benelli because I would use it to go run little errands all the time. I would go like to the grocery store and get lunch. I would go to the post office. Like I loved bopping around with the mini bike, so much so that I'm kind of pining for a mini bike again, to be honest. Maybe I'll get a little Benelli because they are pretty darn cheap. But you can't go wrong with the Grom. And honestly, I've been thinking about these just because I remember Jigsaw taught me how to wheelie, and I would love to put a cage on a mini bike and just keep doing stupid little wheelies with it. I think that would be so much fun. So don't be surprised if maybe later this year mini bike appears, mini bike content on Yammie Noob. I'm kind of feeling it, boys. Kind of feeling it. Look at that at night. You know he's just doing dumb stuff with this thing at night. You know they were. And then you can ride with the brigade of mini bike people. That's always the most fun thing. Probins Racing on chat, MT-07 or Trident 660. If you had asked me 2 years ago, I would have said MT-07, but honestly, the 660 is the better bike. It handles better. It sounds better. You know, it doesn't have the raw peppiness of an MT-07, but the MT-07 is kind of long in the tooth now. Honestly, if you're looking for the more complete street bike, the Trident 660 is superior. It's got an extra cylinder, for God's sake, but MT-07 does wheelies pretty damn good, so you can't deny that. All right, Daxa on Discord. Bought a shitty old RC390, painted it myself, won a race with it. Very cool. She's my baby now. I also ride it to the races with my leathers and race fairings strapped to the back, a la the first image. Please roast that as well. This is a bit of a ratty RC390, but I love it because it's a race bike, baby. We got some sort of no-name exhaust right over here. What's going on with that? This is a first generation RC390, if memory serves me correctly, because they have these way pointier noses. And I do know that Daxa lives in Singapore, so she probably went to what's the track in Malaysia? Sepang. There we go. I don't know why I couldn't remember that for a moment. looking nice in the paddock, chilling with the other big bikes, riding around. This is the commitment I tell you guys about. If you want to do something with your motorcycle, you can simply just do it. Daxa went and strapped on an entire freaking luggage pack to the look how this would not even this would not be a carry-on on your local airplane, dude. Come on, that's ridiculous. Plastics coming off. The yellow looks pretty good, I will say. Like it's a cool vibe for the bike. Look at that. Painted it herself. You love to see it. Lorda Bags with the V-Strom 800. Now, this is unfortunately a bit of a maligned motorcycle for me. There's several reasons why. Number one, I know who owns this motorcycle. It's a user by the name of Nex on our Discord, and he's just a silly little goober, a thorn in my side on the Discord, and he's just recently got it into the adventure lifestyle, and he just constantly tells people that they have a skill issue, even though I only ever see his motorcycle laid over on its side on the server. We have... I mean, there's so much crash protection and bags on this bike that it's hard to even see that it is a V-Strom 800. And like a typical Suzuki boy, will continuously tell me the virtues of a V-Strom 800 and how it's the greatest motorcycle God has ever created, even though it's just a pretty normal, ADV. Speaking of which, I will say, it's a pretty good license plate. ADV Weeb, that describes him pretty accurately, I gotta say. And he lives in California, if memory serves me correctly, so lots of good adventure riding to be done out there. Am a little bit jealous here in Central Texas, not gonna lie. Under the Stars, so romantic, so beautiful. Hopefully you didn't spend it all alone with you and your waifu pillow, my friend, and here at the local gas station drinking a color-matched Monster Energy beverage. You love to see it. So nice. Jay-Z on Discord. He's got a 23 Hyper Motard 950 standard. Did my first oil last week, and I added the Ducati spacers to the throttle to eradicate the slop. I like to use the word eradicate like it was some sort of fire anthill. Guys, I love these bikes. I test rode one of these in 2019, later in the year. The 950 Hypers. So molto bene. So much fun to ride. So much fun to do wheelies on. Super, super fun motorcycle. I'd love to ride the new Hyper Motard 698, which can we take a moment? Hyper Motard sounds like what we'd call like a Gen Alpha kid on his iPad all the time. It feels kind of weird to say that word, but it's what everybody calls it, so whatever. I would love to do one of the 698, one of the new platforms. But these bikes are so much fun. This looks just like the one I test rode. Super duper fun engine, super fun, torquey. Just a total hooligan bike, man. Just total freaking hooligan bike. Wow, that looks really jank. Is that the throttle spacer thing you did? That does not look very good. Ooh, the oil change with the screwdriver mod there. I've had to do that a few times, and they really are stuck on there. And then you hit it with the belt. That's how you know it's a true Ducatista. That is the real deal right there. Quick shout out to the chat over here. I did see that Sly Time mentioned about the oil spill color on the RS457. And the fish got nukes here. Thank you for the donation. Yammie, tell me why my 2013 Triumph Tiger Explorer 1200 got destroyed because the guy at the factory didn't tighten a bolt in the engine. It backed out and destroyed it. Triumph really let me down. Tell me why. Well, my friend, I don't have too much information to tell you why specifically the Triumph Tiger 1200 engine blew up, but there's many critical bolts in an engine. For example, on the top part of the engine where all of the valves and cams and all that good stuff sits, there's several bolts that need to be torqued and tightened even in a very specific order. If for whatever reason those weren't tightened or torqued like correctly and specifically, you could have the whole valve train just like slightly askew. That could nuke an engine very easily. So that's just like just one bolt that could possibly cause failure. Like there's plenty of bolts that's like, oh, that one part could just blow up the whole engine. So that's my possible thought around that. But I would certainly go back to the dealership that did that work and be like, so who's buying me a new bike? Because this isn't gonna work. All right, looking on chat here. Honeyglaze says, Yam, please review the Big Ruckus 250. Did they make a 250cc Ruckus? I didn't know that. I didn't know that either. All right. The Mystery Box. This is the next segment for the live stream here. Very excited about this one. If you boys will give me just one moment, I need to grab the Mystery Box and open what we've gotten today. Give me one moment. Okay, here's the box. I have no idea what's inside of this thing. We're going to open it together. This was sent by producer Logan. Let's see. Titillating content, I'm sure. Oh, we have a box within a box. Just go ahead and open this, but maybe not too poorly, because we'd like to keep the box just in case. I know this is very exciting for you guys. But what is in the box? I don't know. We're about to find out together. And yes, I'm opening it with scissors because that was the only freaking sharp thing I had nearby. I'm sorry. Absolutely unhinged. Come on. I know so many people are like, dude, he can't open a box. He's having trouble. He's struggling. Where's my Zoomer intern? Here we go. Here we go. Okay. No way. It's a Hog Blaster warm air bike dryer. This is it's a hair dryer for your motorcycle. A Harley Davidson branded genuine motor company accessory right here, boys. A hair dryer. Oh my god. Well, this thing's huge. This is for when Deborah takes the shower and you gotta dry her hair, brush it. Oh, there's a lot of parts. Oh my god. It's ridiculously overbuilt. I've only had a luscious coif to dry it with. Look at this thing. Look at that. We gotta check the power on this bad boy. All right, to avoid death or serious injury. I didn't think I'd die using this, but apparently I will. Do not operate while standing on a wet surface or operate a dryer that's wet. This thing's got too much power, man. I'm scared. 120 volt, 8 amps, 950 watts. Dude, what the hell? It's got like a guitar switch right here to turn it on. Hell yeah, brother. We got to plug it in. I need an extension cord. Do I have one in here in the shed? I don't think I do. We're gonna plug it in. Oh, it's got the hose. Okay, so check it out. We're gonna plug it in the wall behind me, and I'm gonna bring the hose and suck the mic. You also get 2 accessories. Look at that. All right, boys, let's try to not die here, okay? We don't want to get electrocuted. And imagine dying by a genuine Harley branded accessory. Absolutely ridiculous. Jesus Christ! Oh my god! Wow! Okay, RIP headphone users, that was absolutely ridiculous. S1 Trace says you can probably attach it to the scrambler and provide jet boost. This is the silliest thing I've ever seen, dude. It's called the Hog Blaster. Look at that. Y'all see that? The Hog Blaster. Oh my god. For California residents, this product can expose you to chemicals including DHP, DINP, or DIDP. Did y'all use this in Vietnam? Is this a holdover from Vietnam where Harley Davidson probably had branded napalm? Because they were like, we can make some money doing that. I bet AMF during the bowling years were like, yo, let's brand napalm, dude. Yeah, snorting that good 70s cocaine. Well, producer Logan, thank you for the Hog Blaster. I want to find something funny to do with this. So this might appear in a video. Chat, what do you guys think? This is so ridiculous. Mediocre says that blow dryer is converting me. This is so absolutely silly, dude. It's so loud. Yeah, this is ridiculous. Agent Black and Orange, says Craig on. Absolutely, man. Oh my god. Okay, this is so I wish I could tell you, this thing weighs like 10 pounds. It is so ridiculously like overbuilt. It feels like a Harley product. So, you know what? I get it. This was trademarked in 2013. Who the hell would buy a genuine Hog Blaster? Hog Blaster also sounds like a really shitty mobile game that you would play on your phone when you were like 12 and you're just like having an RPG shooting onto like pigs on the screen. Hog Blaster. Dude, Hog is trademarked with a registered mark. Look at that. Y'all see that? Hog has a little R after it. They have Hog registered. You can't use Hog in all caps. Oh man. Ryan says, makes me want to crank my hog. Yeah, dude, I want to just crank my hog. I want to, honestly, oh my god, I almost dropped it. It would have broken my foot. I want to, look, I don't know if I can say this on stream, but you tell me. Imagine the suck power, right? Use your imagination. I think somebody could crank their hog, if you know what I'm getting at, with this thing. You could certainly bludgeon a man to death. Why does it look like, hold on a sec, I'm having so much fun with this. Why does it look like Vietnam era like poison gas? This literally looks like something that you would kill bugs with. You know what I'm saying? This is ridiculous. Yeah, Peter, 150 USD for this. But I get, granted, it's got multifunction. It's a sex toy. You can bludgeon a Vietnamese man to death with it. You can bludgeon any man to death with it. You can apparently expose them to chemicals and kill them. This is quite multi-purpose. It's pretty good, you know? Stray says, imagine ripping a bong with the Hog Blaster. Brother, you'd get so high you wouldn't even know what to do. I bet you they, in the seedy back bars, you know, of the boys, Harley Davidson, all that stuff, they use this and get, you know, it's like the Harley hookah, right? Tyler says the best way to dry your bike without scratches. Bruno says it's a hoguzzy. Oh, this is so silly, man. Well, producer Logan, thank you for the Hog Blaster. Wow, I want to keep it. There's so many fun things we can do with this. So, chat, I hope you appreciated it. Cody says, I just use a leaf blower. Honestly, this could double as like a leaf blower. You wouldn't even need to get like a Ryobi, whatever the fuck. You could literally you could do gardening tasks with this thing. Pretty good. Honestly, pretty good. So boys, that was the mystery box. If you like that segment, let us know. I'll have producer Logan send me more strange cursed things. Because that was pretty fun. I enjoyed ripping on that. Oh, jeez. All right, boys. The last bit of the show today. I got you a little over on 6:55. I'd like to keep it to a nice tight hour, but we're having fun here. Motorcycle trivia. I'm going to try to answer some questions. We got the slideshow set up here. We're going to see if y'all know the answers to these, because I might not. I don't know. Let's try it. Okay. In what year did motorcycle manufacturers enter a gentleman's agreement to limit top speed of their bikes to 186 miles an hour? Chat, I think it was 1999. Does that sound right? It feels like it was like late 90s. That was when the Hayabusa came out, and that was the bike that was like, oh my god, I can do like 200 miles an hour stock. What are we doing? And then the letter came out and this and that. I'm gonna guess 1999. Jay says 1996 on the chat, but yeah, 93 says Muku. 96. Let's see. The agreement was made in 2000 and went into effect for the 2001 model year. I was close. 99. I thought that was it. Nope. Yeah, so we got the CBR XX Blackbird, the Hayabusa, of course, all those classic open class top speed bikes. We have look, We got these 100 horsepower little piddly sport bikes. These were the bikes we were making back when we were a real species, okay? We have progressed negatively as a species. Okay. Founded in 1926, what products did Ducati originally manufacture prior to making motorcycles? Now, this one I'm almost positive I know. I believe it was radio components, but y'all can chime in the chat if you think it's something else, but I'm almost positive it's radio components, and I'm willing to bet my soul for it. I'm going to bet my whole soul. Let's see. Julius Caesar, we used to be men. That's right. We used to have 200 horsepower freaking boosters. Now we got 90 horsepower parallel twins. Oh my God. Okay. Antonio Cavalieri Ducati and his 3 sons founded Società Scientifica Radio Brevetti Ducati in Bologna to produce vacuum tubes, condensers, and other radio components. Yes, baby! I was right. Okay. Wow, look at this freaking guy. He looks inbred. The original Triumph Engineering Co. was founded in Coventry, England in 1886. In what other country did founder Siegfried Bettmann establish a second factory just 10 years later? Boy, this one's tough. So the original founder of Triumph Engineering Co. In what other country did founder establish a second factory just 10 years later? I'm going to say Austria. I don't know why that feels like the right answer. Kind of feels like, you know, a bit of a vibe, you know. I feel like KTM or Husqvarna or something like that. I just feel like Austria is the vibe for this. It could be Germany. One would argue that those are interchangeable. I wouldn't make that argument. Somebody might. Somebody should look into that. Okay, I'm going to say Austria. Let's see. He founded a second bicycle factory in his native Nuremberg, Germany, under the same Triumph name. Interesting. Both factories branched out into making motorcycles in 1902 and 1903. The trusty Triumph, speedy, elegant, and absolutely reliable. You know, this guy's just speeding his way to a trench and dying in World War I. So, yeah. Germany. I was close. I said Austria. Something like that. I almost said Egypt. Yes, the illustrious Egyptian motorcycling company. All right, on BMW motorcycles, what does the GS designation stand for? Ooh, what does GS stand for? It's either like, oh my God, I used to know this. Oh, the BMW boys are going to hate me. They're going to hate me. Guys, what do we think? BMW, what does GS stand for? I don't know. I think it's tough. Shane says Jesus. Jesus. Yeah, I mean GS, Jesus, something like that. Gas sucker, maybe. Go suck, gone sucking. Yeah, GS, gone sucking. I don't know. Go for sun lotion. Go for sunbathing. Something like that. Right? Grand Sport? Something in German. Grand Sport? Let's see. The GS originally stood for Galant Sport, but was later renamed to Galant Straße. I don't know how to fucking pronounce German. Is German for terrain/street. Wow. That does make sense. Get off the Straße. Guten Schitten. Like multistrada. It is like multistrada, yeah. Many roads. Ah. Okay. The company name Bimota is a portmanteau derived from the first, oh my God, I can't read. Can you tell it's 6 p.m.? Derived from the first 2 letters of each of the 3 founders' last names. What are they? Bonus question, what company owns a 49.9% stake in Bimota? So I think I know the bonus question answer, and that's Kawasaki. But the company name of Bimota derived from the first 2 letters of each of the 3 founders' last names. Oh my God, I have no idea. No fucking clue at all what this could be. Huh? I don't know. I have no clue. Does anybody in the chat know? I have no idea at all. Yeah, Kawasaki is the second question for sure. That's 100%. Shane just says boob. Yeah, it's going to be boob. Let's go. Let's see what the answer is. Valerio Bianchi, Giuseppe Mori, and Massimo Tamburini. Oh, Massimo Tamburini I should have known. But the other 2, Any freaking random Italian guys. I don't freaking know. But I got the Kawasaki answer correct. Look at that. Smart. Got the best words. KTM is co-owned by Bajaj Auto and Pierre Mobility. Name the 3 other motorcycle companies in Pierre Mobility's portfolio. Okay, I think I know this. Okay, it's Gas, Husqvarna. KTM is co-owned by Bajaj Auto and Pierre Mobility. Name the 3 other motorcycle companies. Okay, it's MV Agusta, Gas, and Husqvarna. That's what I'm going to guess. MV Agusta, Gas, Husqvarna. Let's go. Oh, baby. And chainsaws, boy. Husqvarna, Gas, and MV Agusta. Oof. Got him. The only reason I know this is because of MotoGP. And boys, that's the end. Thank you so much for tuning into the live stream. I'll hang out a little bit longer for y'all here for a little bit since this was the inaugural stream. So funny that I started this out and I literally didn't even know that I was streaming for like 5 minutes because I'm a boomer. So yeah, guys, thank you so much. I hope you had some fun. Let me know, I guess, in the comments or wherever on Discord, anywhere, of like what segments you thought were great, what segments you think need to be improved. I personally thought the Hog Blaster was the best thing about this whole segment. I really enjoyed that. If y'all want to see more stuff like that, let me know. I really enjoyed this. I thought the questions were a lot of fun. I think chatting with you guys is a lot of fun, and we're going to do it that way. Shane asks, when's the next one? We're trying to do them every Wednesday. Tentatively, it's at 6 p.m. every Wednesday, but I think actually like 2 or 3 p.m. might work better because people are still at work and they can just tune in and just like put their headphones in or whatever. Because right now it's kind of like, you know, people chiming in like during their commuting hours. I don't know. I'll have to look at that. Shane says, an excellent stream. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Hog Blaster 9000 was awesome. Can't be beat. Everyone's having fun. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much. We put a lot of work into this. This is really fun. And I hope that it's going to be a great format for us here on the channel. So yeah, I think we're going to rewatch this internally as a team, try to figure out, tighten up some stuff. I think the mystery box segment has to stay. That was so much fun. Yeah, we'll really enjoy it. So I'll hang out here with a couple more minutes. You guys, if you have any questions, I think somebody here is asking about CF Moto 675. That is a bootleg Daytona. Don't buy it. Just kidding. It's cool that it exists, but I don't really have high hopes that it's going to fulfill the Daytona-sized hole in my heart. Peter says, hoping a father has been great. Thank you very much. It's been a lot of fun. Really enjoyed it. Vegahan says, work on starting the stream. Thank you so much. I will certainly try to actually press go live on the frickin' computer and actually go live. Fly Time says, Lime Creek next weekend. You might catch me there. I don't know. Got some family coming into town. Philly says, we do a live session where you just answer questions from reviewers. I'm about to buy a ZH2. What things should I make it better from? So these questions were from viewers. We just had to kind of cull them from Discord and Instagram and stuff like that because we had to try to find questions from places because we were just starting it out. But we will try to get questions from, the viewers necessarily. So, yeah. Is my daughter's middle name Hayabusa? Abso-freaking-lutely. Her first name is Haya. Her last name is Busa. That's it. No, excuse me. Her first name is Turbo. Her middle name is Haya. And her last name is Busa. Absolutely. All right, guys. I'm going to jump off. Thanks so much for hanging out. I hope you had a lot of fun. We will clip this into some smaller bits for later next week if y'all didn't be able to catch the stream. And see you later. Bye.